Hey guys, Zul'jin here, welcome back to another episode of Gwent. So I said last episode after the second Northern Realms video I did that I was going to come back to monsters and show you guys the weather control deck inclement that I was working with and the changes that I've made to it. So the deck is not in its final form. There are a few adjustments that I'd like to make and cards that I don't have yet to add to it, but I recently removed Imlerith because I didn't have enough, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, I didn't have enough synergy with it. Even though it's a nice gold card, I may as well have added Geralt, and it just wasn't, or Geralt, it wasn't adding anything specific, as well as I didn't find myself using Zoltan that much. Even though it gives me a little bit of flexibility, I didn't see him a whole lot, and even though he is immune to weather, I decided that I would just take him out to make the deck more streamlined, because sometimes I wasn't getting enough weather cards, or I just wasn't getting the right cards. These two, Woodland Spirit and Coranther, I try to get them all the time, at least one of them, and I like to have a crone. So the crones, where I could add a few more silver cards, like there is an awesome card that I would love to add to this deck, that is by the name of Sarah, which add 4 strength each time weather or is spawned or a clear skies card is played, immune to weather. So this would fit really well in the deck, but the only thing I can do, because I have a maximum of 6 silver cards already, is take away a crone. We definitely don't want to take away Ice Giant because he's just enormous with Frost, and we don't want to take away White Frost because it adds a whole lot of flexibility and me not having to play with another Biting Frost or Impenetrable Fog, and sometimes I have one, if not both, if needed. I also added a Stammelford's Tremors, a second Stammelford's Tremors, which works very, very well, but if I would remove the 3 crones, I can't remove just one because it's silly just to remove one, so I would have to remove all 3, which would open up 3 spots. If that happens, I would add Sarah, I would add Water Hag, and I would need another silver card to replace it. And I think the best silver card to replace that with would be Last Wish, which is, I'll show you. Last Wish is a really, really strong card from neutral faction that is, it basically draws 2 cards and discards 2 cards. It adds a lot of flexibility to an opening hand, and it's a great draw to get when you just need card advantage. Also, the great thing about the crazy thing about it is that it's 800 scrap to get. So I am currently saving up for something like that. There are some other things that I could add to, like Ragnar Rug would be unreal to have, but it's way expensive, and I really think that Last Wish would help the deck because I already have so many weather plays. So without further ado, let's get started. I don't know if I selected the right deck. Alright, I'll select Inclement and we'll see what we can do. So currently this has the most flexibility out of both my other Northern Realms deck and my breeding deck. This monster deck is definitely the strongest out of all 4 of my decks.
Onward!
Started playing a little bit with Skellige and Scoia'tael. Can't really get behind it. Like, I just don't have enough cards to make it work. Scoia'tael I just don't understand. Like, I'm trying to, but the synergies are a little bit more complex. And Skellige I just don't have the cards that I'd like. So we don't want the Foglet for sure. We don't need the Foglet at all. We want to keep a crone and an ancient Foglet if we can. We have 2 fogs, but no way to spawn. Well, we do have Frost too. Even though this is not the most ideal hand in the world, we're going to take it. And we'll see. They'll replace cards, and we should be able to get into it. The removal in this deck is really what helps. It can unravel strategies, and anybody that tries to play with combos, the strategies that we unravel are usually pretty good. So what we can do here is, let's just play crones. And that's pretty discouraging to anybody that comes up against that because they like, man, it's 21 points. That's why it's so hard for me to get rid of him. They could play their huge removal, which is okay with me too. That means I keep Ancient Foglets. And because they already played Reaver Hunters, I could play a fog right now since I have an extra, and it will shut down their whole middle line. That would save my removal for Stammelfoot's Tremors. I could also just play Commander's Horn and let them go, but if they're playing a combo deck, it would be pretty hard to predict that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just play a fog. So that nerfs them, it makes mine bigger. And if he's not discouraged yet, that means he's going full force. Alright, so he is. There's nothing I can do about Ciri, so I might as well continue with my fog synergy. Since I have Ancient Foglet. Let's see what he does. Now I still have Fog in my hand and Frost in my hand, and I still can spawn Weather with Dagon. So he just used some removal, which is alright by me as well. I could do the same thing. Since I have 2 Stammelfoot's Tremors, I'm just going to use this to push and do a little bit of damage here. That's going to get rid of both his cards. And yeah, he's going to pass. Very good. That's a good choice. Now I'm going to keep something. Hopefully I don't keep a Foglet. I kept a Foglet. It always happens. In that situation, I don't really like keeping Crones either because I like the flexibility of Spawn and Rain. It's ideal if you keep the Ancient Foglet, but that's okay too. Okay, so we don't have anything that we could come out with a bang. Here's where the, I forget the name of the cards, but the guy that spawns Frost and 2 Wolves, or the guy that spawns Fog and 3 Wolves, is really, really where you can shine. So we don't really have any units here to play. That doesn't happen often. What we could do, just to make it, so we do have some units to play, is just play a Fog, and that'll give us some units. And that makes it look like it's a little bit less obvious.
Tiny Vettles, hungry like a wolf.
Alright, so if he is playing poor infantry deck, like we were last video, then Frost is going to absolutely shut him down too. I do have a white Frost. That way if he plays a Clear Skies, that's pretty significant. So if he plays anything else that gets nerfed, I'm probably going to use Stammelfoot's Tremors again. We'll see what he does. So I mean, it's really hard to deal with the weather, man. And that's what else is great about this deck, is because it deals with weather. Not only does it deal with weather, it benefits from weather. Alright, so this is gonna hurt him really, really bad. It's so destructive, man. So destructive. I don't even have any strength on the board. I have Foglets. But they're hard to get rid of, and they are very buffable.
Ho ho, I sense trouble.
Alright, so we can't do anything. All we can do is buff him, really. We can't play anything that we want removal from. If he has a Clear Skies, it'll kill the Foglets, which is kind of bad, but that's okay. Hopefully he plays something really high power and gold to get rid of that, because I can always pass the turn, and next turn I could still play Fog and buff everything with Thunderbolts. So let's see here. I think what's weird is that everything he would play into if he would be using that strategy, I didn't see any trebuchets yet either. I could just spawn Rain here, and if I did that, I think I'm going to. It's kind of a BS play, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So let's just spawn Rain. Now anything he plays that's not gold is going to get nerfed, which will be very discouraging for him. If he has a trebuchet strategy, it should shut it down, or it will draw out the clear skies, and that's kind of what we were hoping for. Okay, so I can act like that just absolutely shut me down and let him win with 12 points, or I can think that he doesn't have another clear skies and play my White Frost again, which will bring my Foglets out that I can power up, and Commander's Horn, and that's the play I'm gonna go for. I'm just gonna go for it here. And if he has another clear skies, well, I'm just screwed. Which, that's the only bad thing about having Dagon as your as the faction leader, is because they know that you're going to be playing with weather synergies, meaning that if they do choose to mulligan, they can keep multiple clear skies in their hand, which really kind of undoes the deck. But other than that, that's the only real weakness of the deck, or the real obvious thing, is you're letting people.
You one of us or not?
Alright, so that doesn't do much for us right there. What we can do is, we have no other creatures to save this for, or Commander's Horn for, so we'll just play these in order, and we'll save removal for something more important, because right now there's nothing real vital on the board, on their side of the board, to remove. Sometimes they can spawn something that'll be very vital to remove, so I like to hold my removal for something that's at least important, not just to sacrifice their power. Plus, we're getting a little bit less effective out of it. If it was a 6, then it would be a little bit more valuable, but I think they're having trouble deciding what they're going to play. Alright, so now I could get the full 6 points away from him. If that's the only thing he has is on his back line, then I'm going to do pretty good with Commander's Horn here, because we'll double it up to 36. And he's got quite a bit of climbing to do, and the only thing that he could play to get points on, really, any real points, is anything on the back row or gold cards. He can full test a back row unit that he buffs well too, which he can also do that on Reaver Scouts. Another thing he could do is he could full test a Reaver Scout to pull out another Cadweenie. Oh, he reinforced. That's actually a really, really good play there. Yep, that's a really good play. Why didn't you buff your Cadweenie's siege support? Okay. He needs to get 6 points, basically, which he can do easy with his with full test. What's bad is if he has an adrenaline rush, I'm boned, because I have no cards left. The great thing is this deck is the king of one draws.
Crush those vermin!
So if I don't get a an ancient foglet,
trouble approaches.
I have the chance to spawn something really, really big, is what I'm trying to say. Please no adrenaline rush. Please no adrenaline rush. Yay! Good. Alright, he's hoping to do something next round. Either that or he doesn't have any cards to do it. Alright, so I kept the foglet, but I'm losing it because fog goes away. And I am getting frost. Okay, so I'll have 9 points. If he can't undo 9 points, then I deserve to win, I suppose. Oh no! Don't tell me he has nothing. Don't tell me he has nothing left in his hand.
Temeria has yet to speak its last.
I feel bad for the guy. Tell me you got something, man. Removal? Oh, I bet you all he has is a Thunderbolt potion or a Swallow potion. That sucks because his unit was gold and he couldn't do anything about it. Well, that was actually a really, really close game. Really, really close. I'm level 31 currently. Haven't been getting much rewards lately. Alright, let's play another round, shall we? hopefully this one goes a little bit more straightforward. I like when it's games like that though, because it makes you do a lot of thinking and you're not really sure what they're gonna do. Sometimes when you think an enemy is predictable, they do something that you really don't know. I see a lot of blue decks that play with a lot of neutral units, and they are really, really hard to predict when they start whipping out neutral units like Witchers and stuff. Alright, let's see. A lot of weather cards here. We don't need either of these foglets. Do we have... Oh my god, this is like a ridiculous hand. Okay, let's take away one of these guys, and we got an Ancient Foglet. This is a really, really strong hand, y'all. Really strong. Okay, so they play with a lot of rain, so well, this is one of the only factions that play with rain besides monsters. So we're gonna avoid doing anything on the back line right now. Let's just go ahead and spawn Frost and a couple of wolves. This is a pretty strong start, and we have ways to redo Biting Frost.
You're in trouble. I
So
can help.
Regis is really, really strong as well. You can't target him with removal. Frost doesn't work on him. That's what I mean about neutral units. Sometimes they get pretty big. Okay, so because we already have Frost going on, we might as well just go with it. We don't have any Thunderbolt potions, so we don't really need to save this. Sometimes I try not to play these until I have Thunderbolt potions, but he just played Last Wish. Very high value deck so far. Very high value deck. Regis and Last Wish are both like 800 scrap cards, so huge. And he makes me play again. Let's go with... I still don't have any targets for removal, so all I could do is really add value to my own line here. And I'm going to go ahead and play the last Frost card that I have for synergy. And just hope this goes off well. So he did just give me the round, which is wonderful. He's going to start off with a 12 power gold unit though, which is okay by me because I still have plenty going on back here. He has card advantage over me, but I kept an 8 power creature, which is kind of nullifies the card advantage. Now he has 10, so now he has the card advantage back. Oh, it's rough, man. Alright, and I'll have a crap draw with a Foglet, which I don't necessarily want to play. Sometimes I think I should play him. Let me do that, just to make him play something. He might play something just as lame, but the thing about it is if I play Fog and he goes away,
Nothing like
it gets
some
back.
overseas plundering in spring.
Alright, so these units actually get stronger when you play them from the graveyard. So it's not necessarily the best choice to remove them, but they still can buff them. What I could do right here is play Frost instead. Skellige buffs original strength, which is kind of hard to deal with because cards that go to the graveyard come back just as strong as they were before.
Billion barrels of burning pitch.
So he's buffing original strength with these guys, and that's what I meant. It's definitely going to go to the graveyard sooner or later, and it's going to come back with its original strength plus the 4 that the clan Tordas Shieldsmith just gave him. So what I can do here is I think I'm going to play some power on the back line and see what happens here. Or I could keep going with Fog. I think I'm going to keep going with Fog here, actually. The Crone will be my ace in the hole. That'll be for a quick 21 points. And I could actually command this Hornet too for 42. So he's going to keep buffing that guy. So that's definitely the strategy there. So if he gets rid of him, I can Frost again to bring him back down. Even twice if I wanted to. What I could do is make him think that I don't have a second form of removal and just like I'm buffing his, debuffing his strength or something, but I think I'm just going to go with Woodland Spirit right now. What are you gonna play, Skellige? Ah, okay. So So if I play a fog here, I get my stuff back, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to be something that I could do. It's only 6 power, and it would be using Dagon, and I don't think I should do that. What I think I should do is remove his... Actually, just nerf. That doesn't bring it to the graveyard either. So if he buffs it again, I could actually do that Thunder again and bring him down to 1 power. And if he doesn't kill it himself, he has a lot of power that comes back. Alright, so this is a telltale sign that they do have the chance to use rain, which is kind of scary with crones. I think I definitely don't want to use removal on his deal right here. I'm gonna see if he'll use rain. Well, no, I have 23 points, he has 29. I don't want to send that card to the graveyard because he has cards that he can remove from it. The only thing he has in the graveyard right now is a clan Turkish skirmisher, but it's much small, and a Queen's Guard. Only 15 seconds left. What I should probably do here is I'm either gonna frost or removal. Let's run frost again. And that just brings his clan skirmishers down by 1 more point.
Cross the wide somber sea.
Okay. So he's probably not gonna play rain now since he has that kind of investment on the back line. So what I could do here is play crones. I think I'm gonna play the crones now. And I can still command this horn if he doesn't rain. Or whether he does rain or not, I can command this horn, but it'd be much more effective on the back line right now. But now he knows I'm not gonna play rain. So he can really get crazy on the back line if he has cards. Try not to take anything with removal to absolutely remove his clan Turisic skirmishers, because that's his strongest card right now if it goes to the graveyard. It's a tough call. Okay, so if he plays the what's the name of that card? The Battle Cry, it'll return everything to its original strength, and I still have Dagon. So I think I'm gonna play Commander's Horn right now. So he probably has a Battle Cry, which would bring all his units back up to their original strength, which he's buffed already, so this guy would be really big. Oh no! I didn't see Scorch happening at all. Alright, so with that said, he probably has res cards left in his hand. The only thing that I can do with Dagon right now is spawn Frost, but I don't have anything that can take him down. I could spawn Rain, but he would still have 10 power. Now that I don't have my Crones though, if I spawn Rain, he would only have, well, he would still have 20 something power though. And he still has 3 cards left. I think it's best if I give him the round. It's the only thing I could do. Let's see what happens. I have a 1 power creature that stayed behind. So you saw his creature reverted back to a 14 power. Okay, so I do have an Ancient Foglet, which is good.
Any last words?
So I'm gonna go ahead and play my Ancient Foglet here. And it's gonna be Fog that I'm playing with Dagon.
I'm ready.
Who's that? When sent to the graveyard, convert to silver status. Interesting. I can't target it though. So, yep, let me just play Rain. I mean Fog. And it brings back my my 3 foglets, which give me a little bit of comfort, but not a whole bunch. And it looks like he's gonna take it. And he has clear skies, which kind of sucks. And I'm just gonna play Azul's Thunder just to be silly. Oh well. So you get the gist of the deck and the way it's put together. It does involve a lot more thought than the last strategies that I've played with, but it's pretty rewarding when you can get the best of him. And he had a very high value deck, and he knew how to play it, so it was good. But that's it for the Inclement deck, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, give me some dap on that like button to show your support, and you can subscribe to the channel for more daily videos. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Uljan signing off, and we'll see you next time.